Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcus Wyatt.
And my name is Fight Mode Nick Cavalli.
And we welcome you, as always, to the Wrevolution. So, this is your Wednesday Night Wars video. Coming at you a little bit late. In fact, all our videos are coming out a little late this week. Sorry, we've had a couple technical issues, had a little bit of problems, getting together, me and Nick's. But we got two alright shows from both NXT and AEW. Not a lot to complain about this week. AEW definitely putting on a better show than last week, I would say. So we're going to actually, I'd say, start with AEW, if that's fine with you.
Perfectly fine by me. We will kick things off with Wednesday Night Dynamite, and it is Le Champion Chris Jericho on the mic with Tony Schiavone. We are all ready to go with match one, which is going to be a quarterfinal match for the TNT Championship Tournament. But first, we get some words from the American Nightmare, Cody. Cody's seated in his beautiful custom gaming chair. Cody, I want one, please. Just send one your boy's way. And he's talking about the TNT Championship Tournament and about how important it is for him to win that tournament and the kind of guys that he's going to have to face to get to that championship. But the fact that he needs this for his career. He can no longer be the top champion. This is the best he can do. And wouldn't it be great for me to be on top?
Yeah, so it's essentially what we've been saying, like, it's nice that Cody is rebuilding himself and kind of going, yeah, I can never, or at least I can never challenge for the World Heavyweight title. So, this is like my World Championship. I'm going to build my career around this. Like, it's almost like this was made for me. So I appreciate that. I like the storyline. It makes sense. By the way, I saw there was a little bit of criticism online about this whole thing with Cody. Like, people were saying, like, oh, like, it's just the corporate elite pushing themselves. You never saw this in WWE, which, by the way, nonsense. Utter nonsense. The name Triple H comes to mind almost instantly. So,
and that's, we actually have a quote here. Someone said if Triple H was, let's say, number one on a ranking system in WWE, people would lose their mind. But the executive in AEW is in every main storyline involved in the new championship tourney, blah, blah, blah. Taz responds, H has been the number one in their invisible ranking system for about 15 years now. Also, Cody puts over younger talent, doesn't bury and crush people behind their backs. I can go on forever with this, but you have no idea what's going on, especially if you think Cody Rhodes is anything like Triple H.
I mean, it's literally a running joke. The golden shovel? I mean, come on. Like, what are you guys talking about? Not to mention how many major storylines are the McMahon family involved in. Like, come on. Like, let's be honest here. So,
right,
it's utter...
In our friend group, we've been talking about how awesome it is that, for the most part, Cody has been out of the spotlight.
Not even just Cody, but
matches, but he's not been in championship matches. The Young Bucks have not been the top of the tag division yet. Kenny Omega is not the world champion, which, by the way, best wrestler in the world. So, sorry.
Yeah, like, it's to say that, like, that AEW constantly just pushes their it's nonsense. I mean, again, look at the Elite. That gets a clear example. They're all executives in the company, and minus, like, Hangman and Kenny being the tag champions, what have the rest of them done? Like, Cody literally created a story.
500 record.
Cody literally created a storyline to where he cannot challenge for the main title in the company. So, like, come on.
Let himself lose to Chris Jericho.
Exactly. So it's just utter nonsense. But let's go ahead and move on. So right out the gate, we get Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin, and they both cut a couple of really nice promos before the match started.
Yeah, both of these guys came out in fight mode, if you will, and they were ready to go. This was a fantastic matchup from before the bell to really up to the very end. These two put on a great show. And honestly, just happy to see the two of these guys competing in a ring against each other once again. I hope this is one of those never die rivalries where the two of these fight for days and years to come, because they're both extremely talented, both very young in the professional wrestling world, and excited to see where the two of these can bring this company in the future.
Yeah, every time I see these two guys fight, it's always amazing. It's like looking into like a glimpse into the future. Like they're so good at what they do. They're so amazingly talented, and I love, like, first of all, Darby Allin's promo. Like I love he's got someone wearing like a Sammy Guevara like mask, and then he's got him like strapped to the back of a car. He's just dragging him through a field. And then, like, I love Sammy comes out and Sean Spears is holding up a sign in the crowd that says, "Sammy owes me money." So,
yep.
I thought that was cool. But
and the funny thing is, you can feel, it genuinely feels like there is hatred between Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara.
Oh, yeah.
And that builds and breeds such great storytelling when you can make it feel like these guys have genuine heat.
Yeah, this match, there was actually started with a pre-match attack by Sammy Guevara to Darby Allin. He beat the absolute hell out of him before the bell even rung. He even grabbed a ladder, set it up so that it's hanging on the apron and then on the gate on the outside. And then he tried to put Darby through the ladder with a splash from the top rope, but the ladder didn't break, so he just bounced off off Darby, and they both fell to the ground. It was just flesh meeting flesh, and then flesh meeting ladder, and it was brutal. Like it was, It hurt. It looked like it hurt like a lot.
This spot was absolutely fantastic. I've seen it criticized online because it was done at a no fan show. Are you serious? It was done at a no fan show? Yes, of course it was done at a no fan show, because unlike SmackDown and Raw, AEW and NXT actually have to put on good things for people to tune in. They're not going to get hundreds of thousands of viewers if they just put on what Raw does.
Yeah, I mean, we literally saw, like, we've seen these last couple of weeks, when AEW doesn't put on their best work, they, like, their views immediately transfer over to the other show. So, like, these guys have to literally fight like hell to stay relevant, because you are the competition. You are literally like, this is Wednesday night. This is the Wednesday Night Wars. You're going head to head with another show. So if you don't bring in the audience's attention, they will go somewhere else. Again, it's not like Raw and SmackDown where they're the only dog in the yard. Like, they have no other competition. Like, who is Raw fighting for on Monday nights? Unless we're in football season, they have no one else to go at them. Same thing with Friday Night SmackDown. Like, who's SmackDown's biggest competitor? So, I mean, it's like
football.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like on Wednesday nights, both NXT and AEW have to put on their best work. Otherwise, they're losing views to the other show. So, of course, they're going to do stuff like this. And again, you shouldn't criticize them for doing spots like this, because at the end of the day, it's for your entertainment. Were you not entertained? So shut up and enjoy the show.
Truly. And here's the other thing for you guys. Just so you know, AEW Dynamite has been pre-taped for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Been pre-taped. They taped a month and a half's worth of content, and they've been stitching it together to figure out where things lie. AEW has announced that they will be going back live before the date they thought they were. So we may be getting a little bit better quality Dynamite next week, because they have to give us all the good stuff, because all the other recordings are going to be trash. But Dynamite will be going back live from Daly's Place in Jacksonville in the coming weeks. That's also been controversial with fans, because obviously stay home, stay safe, everybody trying to avoid the Rona, but it's difficult when it comes to something like this. I mean, WWE's gone back to work. AEW has taken extra precautions. They've been away for a long period of time, and they're finally coming back, and I'm excited to see them head back to the live circuit. I mean, even if it's not with fans in the crowd, it just feels like being at Daly's place with all of the pomp and circumstance that you would normally have is going to be extremely fun.
Yes, so this match ended with Darby hitting one of his newer move, the Last Supper, for the win. So Darby moves on, and we're getting the match we knew we were going to get, and they set up for it a couple weeks ago. Darby Allin versus one Cody.
That's going to be a fantastic match. Darby and Cody really put on an absolute clinic in pro wrestling when those two get together, and I am so excited to see the two of those guys go at it, and this just brings a whole nother level of excitement to the championship final, which will be taking place at Double or Nothing.
So we move on now to a promo from Damascus, Matt Hardy, live from the Hardy compound. And he just starts dressing down the inner circle again, talks about the whole of the ass. Chris
the
Jericho.
Circle that is internal.
Yes. And then he actually goes on to talk about Sammy Guevara. He actually challenges Sammy, says, you know, the only person to even talk about me, like, and reference my challenge was Sammy.
The only member with the testicles to say my name was the false God, Sammy Guevara.
So he challenges Sammy to come and fight him at the compound. So now it's potentially Sammy Guevara fighting Matt Hardy. And then he says, oh, I know why you don't want to mention my name, Chris Jericho, but maybe my form Damascus, you don't understand my broken brilliance, so maybe I need to talk to you in a different form. So then he transforms into the unkillable Matt Hardy.
I was so excited to see this. Now, again, this is where I go, the internet doesn't need to exist. People who are out here criticizing Matt Hardy now because, oh my god, he's so much better when he's not broken. He should just not do that character at all. I'm sorry. Broken Matt Hardy is by far one of the most intriguing, interesting characters in pro wrestling history. So don't come at me with this, oh, I really wish that he was the unkillable Matt Hardy. Oh, Team Extreme. Yeah, man, ladders and flips and stuff. No, that's not Matt Hardy. Do you see how well that's working out for Jeff? Do you? Matt has reinvented himself, has become something else, and we are lucky to be able to witness that. So for anybody who thinks that Damascus is too over the top, I'm sorry. This is pro wrestling. We used to have Doink the Clown and the Gobbledygooker. You want to tell me Damascus is over the top?
And you want to talk about over top? I mean, we literally worship a dude that shows up like once a year who can pretend to conjure fire and lightning. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's stop kidding ourselves.
But yeah, the 3,000-year-old dude who talks funny is over the top. Like,
yep.
You know what? Nothing is more amazing to me than every single time Matt Hardy comes up with a new word or new phrase to describe something. When he came up with le hole of the ass, which stuck, by the way, or the circle that is internal, I literally laugh my ass off. Because this dude is working so hard to make you at home smile, and it bugs the hell out of me that you can't just sit there and go, this is a good thing, and live with it. You have to nitpick.
It's just
you have to nitpick.
It's the same thing I say about any like anti-WWE guys that are gonna pick on WWE for the smallest stuff. I mean, it's a bunch of WWE marks that are just trying to tear down AEW for anything, like anything to knock the competition down and say that they're not as great as they really are. I mean, again, there are problems with every show. If you want to pick on things that AEW doing wrong, there are plenty of things. I have constantly ripped AEW for things like the women's division, which has gotten better, but that is a big sticking point for me. And then there's actually something like that comes up actually right now, that if you want to critique this, I can give you this, the Alan Angles versus Kenny Omega match. But like on paper, this is horrible. It's another squash match. It's something where you just kind of roll your eyes and go, oh, here we go. Like Kenny Omega keeping that win streak alive. Like, squashing another random no-name. But they actually did better with this match than what should have happened. So Alan Angles, obviously at the gate, Kenny wasn't, taking him too seriously. And then as the match progressed, he kind of caught Kenny off guard and was like, made it not competitive, but he made it so that way Kenny kind of had to take it to that next gear and go, all right, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. So while obviously does it do a lot for Kenny? No, but I mean, now I kind of want to see more of Alan Angles. I mean, he's obviously not going to be anything huge right now, but in the future, maybe. He looks like he's got a lot of talent, a lot of skill. No visible botches, at least that I saw. So, fine competitor in the ring. I want to see more.
So you've been calling him Alan Angles this whole time, and that's just because Jericho is being an ass on commentary. His name is Angels. Jericho even references that one at one point. Tony Schiavone says, and Angels kicks out, and he goes, his name's Angels? I've been calling him Angles this whole time, and you didn't correct me? It doesn't matter anyways. So, yeah, that just goes to show how much of a character Alan Angels is. No one gives a damn.
I was going to say, I mean, last week, too, the announcer called him Angles. And then this week she said Angels, so I mean, I don't know what it is anymore.
But yeah, so he put on a pretty good show. Kenny could put on a 5-star classic with a mop.
Yeah.
So this was no surprise. Jericho made the joke last week that Kenny's had 5-star classics with blow-up dolls, and I believe that. This guy is out of this world, one of the best wrestlers you'll ever see. And between him and, Alan Angels actually had a little bit of chemistry with Kenny. I don't know if they've ever worked together before. I don't know if maybe Kenny's gone to the Nightmare Factory and been like, hey guys, I'm going to, do the graps with you for a couple minutes and knee your effing head off. But, props to you, Alan. You look good. I was really excited with what I saw. And hopefully this is good news going forward. I mean, it looks like just about everybody who was in what is, of course, the Nightmare Factory, more or less their version of the Performance Center, but the Nightmare Factory, which is a gym owned by Cody Rhodes, run by QT Marshall. Pretty much everybody there has gotten their own Titantron, their own music and everything at this point, so it seems like all of them have really kind of ingratiated themselves into the system, whether we'll see them travel to Jacksonville. I mean, you might see guys like Angels travel to Jacksonville and head up some matches in Dark. I mean, Anna Jay's already been signed. She'll be on Dark for a while, that's fine, I guess. I'd rather see her on Dynamite, but, Dark's okay, I guess. So this match was actually rather pretty good. Kenny kicked it into that next gear and took Alan's head off.
Yeah.
Nice.
So after this, we got a promo package for Scorpio Sky, which I like that they're, trying to build him up more. I mean, you can tell that their ideas for Scorpio is a singles competitor. I mean, I know he's with SCU, but he's the brightest star in that whole stable. Everyone knows he's the guy that you're going to push going forward. I mean, they were doing that when they were fighting in the tag team tournament, so it makes sense that they're going to try to build him up, flesh out his character more, get you guys to really know a little bit more about Scorpio Sky. And that's what we got here. He talked about, as when he was a kid, everyone always talks about, oh, I want to be a firefighter, or they want to be a doctor or a lawyer. And he said, no, I always wanted to be a pro wrestler. I loved wrestling. I watched it all the time. And from when I was little, my mom told me that I was going to be something special. And, that stuck with me, right here. I've always kept that in the back of my mind my whole life, is that, yeah, I'm destined for great things. And he actually started training to become a professional wrestler. And then in 2008, he started having severe back issues. He actually went to a doctor, got an MRI, found out that he's suffering from a collapsing disc space. So he looked like his wrestling career was potentially over. And then he prayed on it, he thought about it, and then he woke up one day and it was just gone. So again, whether he said, like, if you believe in miracles, whatever, like, I don't know if you're religious or not, spiritual, anything, but that's literally just what happened. So I thought that was interesting. That's kind of cool. I mean, what a lucky break for this guy, right? I mean, his career could have been over so much sooner, and we would have never, the things he would have never been able to do. I just thought that was interesting. He goes on, says that, he tried to continue on and push forward. This was a second chance. He wasn't going to waste it, but no company seemed to want him. He'd go and they'd say, oh man, like, you're fantastic. I mean, you've got everything. You've got the total package, the charisma, you've got the talent, the skill, but we just don't have a place for you on our roster. Sorry about that, kid. Better luck next time. He said he went to his mom's grave and he talked with her. He said he talked to God. He went home and he said, you know what? I'm going to give this pro wrestling thing one more shot. And then December 2017, SCU was formed. So I thought that was very interesting. I learned a lot of things that I did not know about Scorpio Sky. They did a really good job making you care about this person. If you didn't care about him already, because I already cared a lot about Scorpio, but now it's just like, that deep dive into his personality. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I thought that this was rather interesting. Unfortunately, of course, this suffers from the Wednesday Night War sickness, where a week ago we had the same kind of interview with Keith Lee.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really interesting. I love getting deeper dives into guys' careers, which is one of the things that Dark tries to do pretty well, is give us a little bit more background on people. And I thought it was really good. I'm excited to see him going forward. Now, the one thing that I sort of disagree with you on, he's going to be a single star, but I think they're going to give him the Kofi Kingston push. They'll keep him with SCU, kind of the way that Kofi was with the New Day when he was champion. I could just see that happen, at least for the first title run.
But that he'd still be getting pushed as a single star, though. So.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can stay in your stable. I mean, for God's sakes, Adam Cole, any member of the Elite, but he'd be getting pushed as a singles competitor, like advancing his career in terms of singles competition. So that's all I was getting out of that. But then we get which you knew this going into the show, but we get the revelation, if you didn't know already, that Dustin left a message for Cody, talked about how, if he doesn't beat Kip Sabian tonight, he's going to retire. So that kind of gave away the results of that match. I mean, if it was anybody else, I'd be like, maybe, but it's freaking Kip Sabian. Like, no, he's not losing to Kip Sabian.
The only reason I put any credence into the possibility that Dustin might retire, in this time, it is difficult to stay up with personal fitness. It's difficult to stay up with a lot of things. And it's not that you can't do things at home, but most of these guys are used to working out in groups or going to gyms, whatever. So I could see him wanting to retire. Did I think it was going to happen? God, no.
Not even just did it, for me, give away the result, but it also just came across as so forced. I mean, where's this coming from just out of nowhere? If I can't beat Kip Sabian, I'm gonna retire. Like, what? It'd be different.
If I do not win the championship, I will set myself on fire.
Yeah, like it'd be one thing if like this had been a continuing theme. We know coming into AEW when he had his original match with Cody, he was planning on hanging up the boots after that, and then Cody was like, "Nah, man, you're in this for the long haul." So it'd be different if they had, started to play up on that, and Dustin was getting thoughts in his head. Can I continue to do this? Like, in promos, he was making that apparent. If you build off of that, but to just throw this out randomly, and like he's got a tag team right now, like he's building his own brand aside from his brother, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna retire.
Yeah.
What? Like it came off as forced, and just I didn't care. Like,
this is the thing that gets to me. Like, and they talk about this quite often with AEW. He's in the prime of his career at 51. Like, dude's fighting better than he's ever fought in his. He learned how to do a destroyer at 51.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going anywhere because of his age or because of his conditioning. If he wants to retire, it would probably just be, maybe he's a little beat up over the years. But the other thing that's kind of nice is WWE and WCW didn't particularly use Dustin very much.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of tread left on the tires.
Well, even still, like, even in AEW, it's not like he's wrestling matches every week. Like, every couple of weeks, you see him in maybe a tag team match where he gets a singles match. So, I mean, it's not like he's, having to wear his body down consistently. Like, he's able to keep himself fresh. He's kind of got that old timer schedule. So, I think that's cool. Like, he should have a while left to go. I mean, if he decides to hang it up earlier, then no one will fault him. He's been in the business forever. But I see him lasting, at least another couple years. But we now get into Jimmy Havoc versus Orange Cassidy, which this match was fantastic. I love it. I love Jimmy Havoc. Great to see him getting more TV time. Nice to see Orange Cassidy. Nice to see the OC, Orange Cassidy, even himself. I mean, this is only his second singles match in AEW now. The man that is too laissez-faire for Le Champion. I loved that on his entrance. He would, of course, get attacked by Havoc pre-match. But there's a lot of comedy wrestling into this one. I don't want to break this one down too much. I mean, at one point we got like a lazy splash, which I thought was hilarious. It's classic Orange Cassidy stuff. It was great.
Sloth style.
Yeah. The one thing that I didn't like is that we got like Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian interfering in this for some reason. And then that actually allowed Orange Cassidy to pick up the win. Penelope Ford tried to do the same thing she did last week, where she jumped up and, hit a tope, but not a tope, excuse me, a flying crossbody. But that didn't work, and she almost hit Jimmy Havoc, which led to OC getting the roll up for the win. Of course, he didn't have a lot of time to celebrate after, because he did get attacked by Kip and Havoc, but then his buddies, the best friends, came on in to save the day. So, OC with the victory over Jimmy Havoc. I liked the match. I didn't like the result. I would have loved to have seen Havoc pick up a victory here. You've kind of been building him these last couple of weeks. We've been seeing him more and more on TV. And his win-loss record isn't very good already. So, I don't really know what the win's going to do for Orange Cassidy. So, I didn't like that.
I don't hate the result. I would have liked to have seen Jimmy Havoc pick up the win. Jimmy is doing well in 2020. He's not. I mean, his overall record is abysmal.
He was 500. Now he's below 500 now.
Yeah, his overall record is just abysmal. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Obviously, I love Orange Cassidy, and if this goes somewhere, which most things in AEW do in some way, shape, or form, cool. Good on you. If not, then we had a really fun comedy match that is leading to a tag team match next week.
Yeah, so next we get a promo from Maxwell Jacob Friedman talking about the serious injury that he teased a little bit on Twitter, which he got the whole of the AEW fan base concerned. He was like, yeah, I've been putting my body on the line, trying to come back and compete for you people. And then, come to find out, my man got a hangnail from gambling, he said. He's got a full cast on and everything. It's fantastic. He's talking about this. He's talking to his MJFs, which is his Maxwell Jacob Friedman fans. Come on, guys, like, you know that. So I just thought that was really good. What do you think?
Yeah, for the people though, for the people. Even after he injured himself and got that hangnail, he continued to gamble. He continued to do that for you. And because of that, his condition became serious. Possibly even fatal.
So yeah, MJF's fine. He'll be back on TV soon.
This is hilarious. This is absolutely perfect. What it comes down to is Max wasn't there when they did the tapings. They taped for a whole month and a half's worth of stuff. He's not on TV. You'll notice you see a lot of the Best Friends and a lot of Jimmy Havoc and all those guys. Yeah, because they were scheduled to be at the tapings. Yeah, Max is going to be fine. He's going to be back probably as early as the first episode that Dynamite comes back. Will he be back in action? Probably not. He'll probably come back in a full cast and, play the part for a while. But, yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting way to kind of segue back into the live TV, back into Dynamite live from Daly's Place. Yeah, I think MJF will be back pretty soon.
Yes.
So we transfer right into MJF, his sidekick, if you will, Wardlow.
I don't know if sidekick is the term I'd use for that behemoth of a man.
Look, man, I'm working on the fly here. He was his protege, if you will, Wardlow, more like a security guard. Let's be honest. Wardlow going one-on-one with Lee Johnson. And, yeah, this was a squash.
Yeah, no, there was nothing really good about this, minus the fact that I love seeing Wardlow on television. That's a big boy. I love his theme song, by the way. Like, it got me hyped. Like, when he's walking to the ring and they got that like, bell, like, just going off. Like, it was hype. I love Wardlow. I'd love to see more of him. Only his second or third? Second singles match on AEW television, so would love to see more of you, Wardlow, but obviously they're working with him a lot behind the scenes. He's still very new, reportedly very green still, even though he looked fantastic in his match against Cody, but
yeah, he's certainly improved from all reports. He's gotten significantly better.
Yes, so he won this with a airplane spin. May not sound as brutal as you'd think, but this is something that you just need to go see, because, like, when Wardlow does an airplane spin, yeah, you go night-night. So, next we got a promo from Mr. Brody Lee. Everything about this was fantastic. You actually picked up on something that I missed in this too, so I'll let you break this one down if you'd like.
So it's more of a Dark Order kind of situation. So there's a guy sitting at a computer and he's looking through like old photos of himself and from a newspaper that says Heisman hopeful, season ends, and he goes to joindarkorder.com, and the first line he types out is, "I had the whole world in my hands." For those of you who are unaware, Easter egg to the Wyatt family, to Bray Wyatt. He's got the whole world in his hands. Yeah. So this, I don't know if it's just kind of like a tip of the cap nod to Bray Wyatt, or, I mean, Wyatt's contract coming up soon. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm not exactly an expert on when their contracts are up, but I believe it should be sometime soon. So we do have the Easter egg to Bray Wyatt there, and then, of course, they say that he didn't take any shots at Vince this week. A lot of people have been saying that. He definitely took a shot or two. Yeah. First question, how tall are you?
6'2".
All right. And how much you weigh?
240, I'd say. About 240.
All right. That's a pretty good size. We can work with that. So making fun of the way that, obviously Vince is more important, puts more emphasis on your height, on your size, on your weight,
well,
how much you can lift.
My favorite is he asked him, like, you play any sports? College football. Like, obviously WWE loves their ex-football players. Yeah.
So I thought that was rather interesting, and I don't know who they're bringing in, because this is like reported that they're actually attempting to bring in a former football star. I don't know who it could be. I don't have any rumors floating around, but leave us something in the comments for all three of you who watch this video within the next month. And let us know what you think.
I actually, too, when I found out that this was kind of a little tip of the cap, if you will, to Bray Wyatt, I looked up the dimensions to see if, maybe what they said matched Bray Wyatt. Unfortunately, it does not. Bray Wyatt is 6'3", or reportedly 6'3", 285 pounds. So definitely not a 1-to-1 there. So it's definitely, if it's not them trying to say, it's not like what they did with Matt Hardy, where it's like, oh, we're bringing in Matt Hardy. Everyone knew it was no, this is, they actually are bringing in somebody different. So that's, for anyone that was on that train, let's go ahead and quash that now.
Definitely is not Rowan.
No, definitely not Rowan. No. So I like what too. He asked me, he's like, oh, you make sure you're not afraid of success. That's always been the big thing in WWE, the climbing the corporate ladder. Grabbing the brass ring. So I mean, yeah, that's typical Vince McMahon stuff there.
You know who's 6'2" and right about 240?
Who?
And just got released? Woo. Zack Ryder is 6'2", 230.
You play college football?
I mean, his gimmick is that him and Mojo Rawley were like football guys, right?
Not really, but
something like that. I don't know.
Nah, but I get you though. I mean, maybe we never know. But yeah, of course, this leads to the the continued push of one Justin Law on AEW television. My goodness. Look, I understand the situation. I love to see kids get their push. My God, why is this dude on my TV? I don't want to see Justin Law, especially not Justin Law versus Burley. This guy just, by the way, has the worst draws in terms of who he has to match up with match-wise. I mean, my God, poor kid just can't catch a break here. But yeah, no, I it's kind of whatever, cool. So, what'd you think?
It is a match.
Yeah, it was, my friend.
It was, in fact, a match.
That it was.
That's about all I got for you.
Yeah, Brody Lee wins with a discus lariat. Cool. So, we move on. We get an interview.
Zack Ryder did not play college football. Mojo Rawley did, though, but yeah. Zack Ryder did not.
Yeah. So we move on to an interview with the best friends and the OC. And this is fantastic from Trent. He says, I'd love to fight Penelope Ford, but obviously I can't for legal reasons. So instead I'll fight her boyfriend Kip, and for some reason Jimmy Havoc too. This is actually me quite upset right now. I loved it. Chucky goes, yeah, no. When he's quiet, he's most you're all gonna die. It was just so over the top. I love it.
I think my favorite things about this were, first, would I like to fight Penelope Ford? Of course I would, but legally I can't. And just the. So instead, I'll fight her boyfriend, and I guess Jimmy Havoc for some reason too. Nod to how crazy some of the booking has been because of COVID-19.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to fight her boyfriend, and well, F it, I'm gonna fight Jimmy Havoc too because Cody told me to.
Yep. And then I just love at the end. He's like, "That's the end. Segment over." He just walk away. I love that.
She tries to give the mic to Orange Cassidy. He's like.
So we go from having a lot of fun to me being very upset very quickly. One of the few things that AEW did to make me upset, to make me very upset to the point of almost wanting to change the channel upset. I know what I'm not going to be watching next week, at least. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the announcement from All Elite Wrestling that next week we will be getting Brody Lee versus Marco Stunt.
Woo!
What? I almost feel like this is on purpose. I mean, like someone saw my rant a few weeks back and went, let's just mess with him. Like, let's just F it. Why not? Like, why? Why are we getting Marco Stunt versus Brody Lee? And I love what you're doing with Brody Lee. I love the promos. I love everything. Can the guy have a regular match now? Can he fight someone that's not just local jobber? Like that's not Justin Law or Marco Stunt. I mean, I guess you graduated. I mean, on the food chain, I'll take Marco over Justin Law, but at least one of them is signed to an AEW contract. So I mean, I guess
one of them can put on a match.
Fantastic job there. I mean, at least you took my advice in that regard, because I did say if you're gonna do it that way, that's the way it should be done. So bravo AEW. But my goodness, just why? No, because if it's, again, what I said is you just need to not do this at all. You should not be putting Brody Lee in a match with Marco. Why? I don't understand.
Because Marco Stunt's going to join the Dark Order.
I actually do believe that, by the way. I do think that...
Hold on, though. Would that not be the perfect thing for Jurassic Express? Not that I don't love Marco Stunt, but, like, make him the comedy dude in the Dark Order.
Oh, no, I want to see Marco go full, like, serious under the Dark Order gimmick. Just go full, like, evil. I would love that.
Spooky pervert. Let's go.
I mean, if Marco Stunt joins Dark Order, I'm fine with it. I've been kind of thinking about that for a while, especially they've been kind of hinting towards something happening with Brody Lee. You know, every time he comes out, he kind of stares creepily at Marco Stunt. So I didn't think it'd lead to a match, but it is what it is. So that's a thing next week. I know what I'll be fast forwarding through. Next, we got something that made me happy. We got the Bubbly Bunch. And unfortunately, Sammy was not happy. In fact, he was actually quite sad. And that made me sad. And it made everybody else in the Bubbly Bunch sad.
Like, I feel so upset. Like, I really wanted Jake to win the match. This episode of the Bubbly Bunch was nuts. From them all trying to cheer Sammy up
to doing this, like, bootleg version of TikTok they call Flim Flam. And the winner wins hand sanitizer from Chris Jericho.
Guys, let's see who can Flim Flam the best. The best part about all of this is the very end where where everyone's like, oh yeah, damn, Sammy, yeah. And Jericho's like, you didn't have to go so hard, damn it, Sammy. You don't always have to get such a freaking show off, damn it. Here's your hand sanitizer.
I love it. I thought that was great.
And then the Hounds.
So then, lastly, we get the main event, which is Kip Sabian versus Dustin Rhodes, which it was a good match. I give it that. It was a good match, but you knew the winner coming into it. At least I did. It was Dustin Rhodes. He wins with the move he loves so much now, the Destroyer. So he picks up the victory that way. And it's such an emotional moment. Oh, Dustin Rhodes isn't retiring. Bunch of baloney. Like, come on. So that took away from the main event for me, is that this whole thing is built around Dustin retire. Like, you could have gone such a similar route, like, and achieve the same result. Just take, like, if you want to go, you know, like, do everything you did the way Dustin was talking about in the phone call with Cody, or the first call with Cody. Talk about, you know, I don't know how many opportunities I'm gonna get left. You know, this would make you so proud if I do this. I want to do this for me. I want to do this for our family. You can go the exact same route. Just take out the retirement part. Something like this doesn't need a corny retirement angle jammed into it for no reason. Just do the fact that it writes itself, and it did write itself. He's getting old. He doesn't have a lot of years left. He really wants to win this. And he could fight Cody if he does. So
now the one thing I'm looking at, and the only reason it's not killing me, this retirement thing, is I want to see what happens next week. I want to see, or the week after, if Dustin goes, yeah, man, I feel the same way I did a couple weeks ago. If I can't get past Lance Archer, then I think it's just time to call it quits, because then you have to go on the inside, holy hell, this guy might be retiring because Lance Archer is a murder hawk.
Yeah, if they do that, then it's like, okay, like now, like I'm tuned in. I didn't feel that way for Kip Sabian.
And that's the thing. Is this the perfect way to set up him next week? Just going, look, I'm feeling the same way. Like if I can't get past this guy, like I've been to the top of the mountain. If I can't get past this guy, my time's done. Then you go, okay, this is how Dustin feels. It's not just 1 week he decided he was going to retire, and the next week he went into the match and went, yeah, I'm facing Lance Archer, so I'm just not even going to try.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Match of the night for you?
So my match of the night is it's complicated because I did like some of the... I mean, you'd probably think, wow, there should really only be one match on this. But I actually did get a couple of good stuff. Like, I liked the Kenny Omega, Alan Angles match, but let's be honest, it's the first match. It's Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin. It was the best match on the show. Probably one of the best matches of the whole night. So, yeah, no, that's the easy one. I just wanted to build false drama. No, it's that.
Honorable mention for me to Orange Cassidy and Jimmy Havoc. That match was really good, despite those guys having no chemistry at all in the ring. The match was actually pretty good. I'm going to go with, Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara for my match of the night. Who is your MVP?
My MVP. Well, it's interesting because Sammy Guevara was in the best match of the night, and he was also in one of the best segments of the night, so I could very easily lean Sammy Guevara, but I really loved that Scorpio Sky promo. I loved what they did talking about that and addressing some of the hardships he had. So I want to give this one to Scorpio Sky. I think he's going to be my MVP.
This was actually pretty difficult for me. I mean, Sammy did a lot of good things throughout the show. Jericho's commentary plus the bubbly bunch was pretty great. Again, shout out to Orange Cassidy and Jimmy Havoc. Both of you guys did fantastic. But I think when it comes to MVP tonight, I'm going to go with the thing that made me the happiest and is going to make the internet want to throw up, Matt Hardy. F you. F every single person who says that broken Matt Hardy is garbage. You don't deserve his broken brilliance. Matt Hardy was the high point of the night for me tonight. The whole of the ass responding. And of course, him saying, look, Sammy, if your boy Chris ain't going to come fight me, you're more than welcome to. Any one of you can step foot on the Hardy compound, I'll happily beat your ass. And then I'll beat the next person's ass. And then I'll beat Chris Jericho's ass. So, Matt Hardy was fantastic tonight in the promo work. And again, I almost went Kenny Omega because of the match he put on with Alan Angels tonight. But, Matt Hardy at the end of the night, that's got to be my pick. So, on to NXT.
So we find out that this was, obviously, as they talked about last week, supposed to be main event Finn Balor versus the Velveteen Dream. Well, something has happened. The Prince has gone missing. It's a who done it mystery. No, they didn't do that. But Finn Balor has disappeared.
Literally right after this segment. Oh, and by the way, Karrion Kross officially signed with the NXT.
Yeah, so
You want to give us a little less suspense?
Yeah, so it's probably something to do with the man formerly known as Killer Cross there. So, I didn't want to talk about it. I really didn't. But I feel like, considering the fact that this is an entire episode devoted to this man, and that it is something that we have to at least address, considering that all storylines involving him may be changed and altered because they're shooting NXT live. So if he doesn't just appear randomly the next couple weeks, you know why. Velveteen Dream, my guy. So, some accusations have come out. I'm not going to deep dive into this, but there have been just, some accusations made about Velveteen Dream. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to go any further on that because nothing's been confirmed, nothing proven. It's in the hands of WWE and law enforcement. So, I don't want to talk anything about it because, it doesn't involve me. It's someone's career and life potentially on the line here in terms of if these are true and if these are false allegations. So I don't want to go any further, but just know that if you don't see Velveteen Dream on your TV for a couple weeks, that's the reason why. So yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to say to it is, if what you, Velveteen, said is correct and you were hacked and all that, then this is an absolute crime against you. But if not, the evidence looks real bad, bud.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's damning.
It's not good if which would just be such a shame because Velveteen's such a, bright young prospect in the company. You could just tell he was destined for great things. Could have had an amazing career.
But you know what? We're the only wrestling channel talking about this. Only one. You know why? Because we're on the cutting edge of news. That's why. AKA 2 days after it came out, no one else wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole. We just went, screw it.
F it, why not? No, but I feel like, especially since we're doing the Wednesday Night War video a little bit later, post, accusations, we definitely had to at least address the elephant in the room because, again, this is an entire episode basically carved around Velveteen Dream here. So, after we find out that the Prince Balor disappeared for NXT, the Dream comes out and he does a little bit of mocking on one of Finn Balor. He's doing the that on the entrance. He's sitting up on the top turnbuckle and he repeats 3 times: new levels, new devils, new levels, new devils, new levels, new devils, same old demons. So shot there at Mr. Balor. He's old! Oh! Which, he's not that old. But he's older than Dream, so I guess whatever. I didn't like that. I thought that was kind of lame. But that's not the important thing. Because what is important is that we hear Undisputed Era's music come on, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's going to be like Bobby Fish or Roderick Strong. And then I look at the Titantron, and you see this scrolling Adam Cole turning, and I was like, he's back! He's here! Oh my god, he showed up to work. Thank God.
Adam Cole, I am very, very proud of you for rolling out of bed, putting on your big boy pants, and going, I should probably go to work today after I've had the last month off.
Yeah.
I don't mean to criticize because obviously, yes, we are in a time in which if you are uncomfortable going into your job, then you should have time off. But with just about every other wrestler who has had that time off, they've at least openly discussed it. You're just kind of not there, which slap in the face of the NXT universe, I guess. But Adam Cole, hey, welcome back, buddy.
Yeah, he's back on NXT television, and he kind of accuses Dream of getting rid of Balor in a way. He's like, oh, come on, we all know that you've been trying to get your way in the NXT title picture, and people have been saying that whoever won this match between you and Balor, they're getting a shot at the NXT title. So how convenient that Balor just isn't here tonight. You're just trying to get an easy way to the title. But it's not going to happen, Dream. It's not going to happen. Then, of course, Strong and Fish end up attacking Dream from behind. But then out comes the Limitless One, Keith Lee. And he helps Velveteen Dream fight off the Undisputed Era. And we get the announcement that it's going to be Keith Lee and Velveteen Dream versus the Undisputed Era later on tonight.
Where has Kyle O'Reilly been?
It's kind of been that way with the Undisputed Era. Like, they've been... You're only seeing 3 of them. And yeah, the main guy missing's been Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know. It's got to be something.
Is it a social distancing measure?
Yeah, it's got to be something with COVID-19. I mean, they're only keeping a certain amount of people at each show each week, so that's probably it. They're like, yeah, if you don't need all 4 guys, you don't need them. So I don't know. That's got to be it, I guess. But we move on now to we get Shotzi Blackheart. And the return of the Tank. It's back. So multiple returns tonight. We got the NXT champion Adam Cole, baby. We got Keith Lee on our show. And we got Shotzi Blackheart's toy Tank. It's a fantastic night. Handing out 5 stars. Oh, Dave Meltzer, where you at? Like, you can't contain the excitement. It's amazing. I love it. Yes, I know, in all seriousness. Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox versus Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai.
Good match, actually.
Yes, very good
I did not
match.
give this enough credit, and I don't have anything bad to say about Shotzi Blackheart.
What was that?
But Tegan Nox and Raquel Gonzalez... I was afraid that those two were not going to have any kind of in-ring chemistry because a couple of times that they've clashed, it's looked really, really clunky. The two of them must have worked on some stuff together because they looked very, very comfortable with one another in the ring. Obviously, Tegan looks great in the ring with Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai and Shotzi had a couple of good goes at it. So all around, everybody looked good. There weren't any bad pairings in the ring, and I think it just went to elevate your women's division overall. I still don't know why Shotzi Blackheart's there other than we need another female and we decided to make Candice LeRae a heel like a week ago, so...
Yeah, no, they've been developing this push for Shotzi for a while now, so it's not out of the blue. They've been doing it for a minute.
Why did she help Tegan? Candice LeRae was Tegan's best friend. Oh, but, we decided... Cup and storyline. So we need to find Tegan a new best friend.
Oh God, you mean storylines making sense?
Yeah, but the question is what makes sense about the women's division now because they're just like, just give her the green-haired girl.
I mean, it's always been the faces help the faces.
Baby face house, baby face.
Yeah, so, I mean, it makes sense from that perspective. But... kind of surprisingly here, Raquel and Dakota pick up the victory. Raquel with a one-handed choke slam, like powerbomb type maneuver. Like it was a choke slam. That looked absolutely brutal there. And then kind of a negative right after this is that this whole thing with Drake Maverick leaves a really bad taste in my mouth. So let's just get right into it. We all know Drake Maverick got released from WWE last week, right? And now they're using this as some type of storyline. They're cutting promo packages and they even showed the video that Drake Maverick uploaded to Twitter talking to his fans about his release, where he was getting obviously very emotional and upset about the whole ordeal. Of course, there are people that say that Drake Maverick may have been already signed with WWE, that he may have been re-signed again. There's no confirmation of that. It's pure speculation. Either way, it doesn't look good for WWE. You're using a man's career as some like this like sick twisted storyline. Like I don't. You're messing with a man's career, his income, his family, everything. I mean, he's recently married. He got married last year. So I mean, like, I don't like anything about this. It left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that. It was kind of difficult to sit through. Like this guy has given everything to your company that he possibly can. He put out a video about how he is so upset and so distraught, and unless he has already re-signed, which again, I don't know. Unless he's already re-signed with the company, then there's no reason for you to be treating it like this, because you're just treating it like it's a part of a storyline. It's not a storyline. This is somebody's livelihood. This is somebody's life. This is their career. You fired them.
Yeah.
Because, I don't have enough money.
And even again, it's like I've even heard people try to justify it with like, oh, where he's trying to, he's putting on his best work we've seen in WWE. He's trying to maybe earn his spot back. Well, that doesn't make it sound any better, because then it's kind of like, dance, monkey dance, like jump through some hoops and maybe you'll get your job back. Like, it's just, there's nothing about this sounds good to me at all. Yeah. And then it's kind of a shame because it took away from an impressive debut from Jake Atlas. So Jake Atlas, and first of all, and I'm not going to make this the whole of the segment or of his character, but he is openly gay. So that was nice that they addressed that, and they're not going to make it his character. He's not coming out and the Gold Dust character, they're not making a mockery of it or anything. No, it's kind of like Sonya Deville, where he's gay, but he's a professional wrestler. He's that's it. And I really appreciate that, because WWE has such a bad track record on stuff like that. I mean, my God, what happened to what's his name that was in Primetime Players when he came out, and
Young, yep.
It was like his career just. They tried, pushing it as, and it just, no, I love the fact that it's just, this is my sexuality. That's the way it is. I'm also a pro wrestler. Cool. Let's move on now. That's...
deal with it. It's a part of my life.
It's natural or whatever. So I like that. I think that's cool. I love the fact that he's in NXT, which has proven to be one of the most progressive brands in WWE. Triple H's, obviously... one of the most progressive guys in the company, so I love the fact that we're seeing Jake Atlas in NXT. He looked phenomenal in the ring, so nice to see Jake Atlas on NXT. Now, he looked great in his match. Drake Maverick looked very impressive. This is probably the best match I've seen Drake Maverick have in WWE. Obviously, the dude's literally fighting for his career. So, good match. Really good match from these two. What did you think?
I think that, I think a lot of the same things you do. I think that Drake Maverick put on a fantastic performance, and yeah, he's fighting for his career, but whether it be in WWE as Drake Maverick or somewhere on the indie scene as Rockstar Spud, he's going to land feet straight on the ground. This guy is fantastic in the ring, can tell a story with the best of them. And Jake Atlas looked pretty good in his debut. Between the two debuts tonight, I'd say I prefer his.
Yes, he did win. He got the victory with a cartwheel DDT from the top rope. Kind of, to put the image in your mind, it's almost like the Eclipse, in a sense, just from a different direction, if that makes any sense. So, that picked up the victory there. Felt bad for Drake Maverick again. They're building the storyline of... where he just lost this match. Where is he going to go from here? I don't like that. It's in poor taste, WWE. It really is. Throwing this out there, this entire show really was built around the Cruserweights, which I thought was really good. They showcasing some of the guys with the best talent and charisma on your roster, the Cruiserweight division. You wouldn't know that, but they're amazing at their jobs. And this episode proved that. So, I love this. We get, right after this, the Jake Atlas, Drake Maverick match, we get Kushida versus Tony Nese. And Kushida comes flat out and says it. He's like, look, the WWE Universe don't have as much appreciation and respect for the Cruiserweight division as other wrestling fans around the world. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to win the Cruiserweight division. I'm going to make an effort to put respect back into WWE's Cruiserweight division. So they're not shying away from it. They're like, look, we've messed up these past couple years. Our Cruiserweight division has been a literal joke forever. And I appreciate that now, under Triple H's command, they're going, nah, that's not going to fly anymore. We're doing our best effort to fix that. And they really did. These guys were being given 15, 20-minute matches on NXT this week. Like, this was literally a Cruiserweight showcase the entire night. And I absolutely loved it. Kushida and Tony Nese obviously put on a fantastic match. Kushida, one of the best athletes in the world. A premier shining for WWE, by the way. Great job getting Kushida. Tony Nese, what can I say? He's the premier athlete. The dude's been putting on stellar matches since he got in the company. So you knew it was going to be a great match. Kushida picks up the win with a Sakamura lock. I hope I said that correctly. For the win. What'd you think of this match?
This match was fantastic. Spoiler alert, this was my match of the night. These guys put on an absolute classic in the ring. Kushida, you all know, is one of my favorite pro wrestlers. This guy is insane. And I'm just excited to see what the remainder of this tournament is going to look like. Hopefully it looks more like the first two matches that we had tonight, not as much like the third one.
Yeah, so we move on now to an interview with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher.
Bro.
Matt Riddle always cracks me up. He says, look, Thatcher, he's my tag team partner for the time being. So they address that right away. They're like, look, it's temporary. It's temporary. I love you, Stallion Tim, but I miss Stallion Pete. And Thatcher goes on to say, yeah, clearly me and Riddle still have a lot to work on. We've got two different styles. Matt prefers to knock people out. I, of course, prefer to make them submit. So then Matt Riddle says, yes, but I can't help but notice that when I look in Stallion Tim's blue eyes, and I think of, you remind me of Stallion Pete, to which Thatcher responds,
brown.
My eyes are brown. Exactly, bro. That was fantastic. I love that. So, and he just goes, you know what? Next week, I'm going to give you the opportunity to showcase why I love you so much, man. Thatcher goes, oh, God, what do you have in mind? You'll see next week, bro. So, I love Matt Riddle.
I'm terrified.
I love this. This was, again, NXT combating AEW with some of the humor. I like that. Digging in, again, recognizing their audience a little bit more. The 18 to what they say, like 42 crowd is where you want to be with pro wrestling fans. And Riddle, no one connects with that wrestling crowd better than Matt Riddle does. It's been shown. And then next we got something that I was very up and down on. And that was the Gargano and Candice LeRae segment. And here's the thing. I was up and down on this because I liked it at points. I liked Gargano kind of fleshing out even more how, why he did what he did, why he's no longer the face of NXT, the baby face, if anyway, of NXT, talking about how, my entire NXT career, I've been trying to do the right thing, and I see now that I shouldn't have. That's the fairy tale of NXT, is you do the right thing and you get rewarded for it. You kiss babies, you go on tours and you go to media tours and this and that, and you're gonna be the guy, but that's just not how it works. Candice LeRae talks about how she's the big sister of NXT, but no one ever helped her. And they say that they're both going to tear down NXT and rebuild it in their image. So, here's my problem now. I've kind of touched on the good stuff. I liked them fleshing out a little bit more of the reasoning behind why they did certain things. Here's my issue. Every time they went to talk about their reasonings to why that they did what they did, WWE felt the need to like slow everything down for some reason and switch it to black and white, and then they talk in this grayscale, and then it speeds back up and you're back in color when everything's all happy, and then it does it again, and it did it multiple times. It broke the flow of the segment. It was awkward, very forced. WWE, you have one of the best production teams in the world, bar none. You are the best production team in the world when it comes to professional wrestling. But this was an unnecessary flex. You didn't need to do this. This was just you doing a little bit too much. You're being extra, guys. Second thing I didn't like. I didn't really like Candice LeRae's explanation for why she did what she did. Why she's kind of turning her back on the faces of NXT. It's just kind of like, she's like, oh yeah, like no one ever helped me or blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what? Like, what I would have liked to have seen, if you're going to do that, I would have liked her to maybe address the situation with Io Shirai. Be like, yeah, you know, Io was my best friend, and she turned her back on me, and that showed me that, you know, that being the nice girl doesn't get you anywhere. Same thing with what happened with Tegan and Dakota. Dakota was my friend, and I saw what happened to her, and now Dakota's getting pushed. So, like, clearly being the nice girl doesn't work. Hell, our champion is Charlotte Flair. Like, you could have gone about this in such a better way, and instead you're just like, oh, whatever helped me, I'm the big sister. Like, it just comes across as, like, just whining. It didn't sound believable to me. I mean, and as corny as it would have been, you could have very easily just been like, at the end of the day, that's my husband, that's why, like, as forced and corny as that may have been, it would have made a lot more sense than the explanation you did give us. So I was very hit or miss on this. What do you think?
It wasn't great. It just wasn't. I mean, yes, Johnny, we're aware that baby faces go to press tours and heels don't. That's how it works. It's the business. I don't know. I don't think it was awful, but yeah, the production value was odd. Every time it slowed down, I wanted to just fast forward through it because it just felt wrong. It feels like they're telling two different stories. Like the story and then like the behind, like if you've ever seen House of Cards, where like Frank Underwood's just talking to the people, and then all of a sudden he turns to the side and he just starts talking to the camera candidly, and nothing, like everybody else around him freezes or whatever. It's like they were having this conversation like for everyone, and then just turned to the camera and was like, and it's because of these effing a-holes that I was never able to get to the top. Like, they just get handed what they want. And, you know, really, I feel like I really deserve better than what I had. Like, it was two totally different stories. It was like A footage and B footage, and they just mashed it together.
Well, I mean, like, and I got the idea behind it. Like, you know, it's kind of like showing the slow descent into madness for Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. And I thought it was cool the first time they did it. But when I realized, oh God, they're going to do this the entire promo, I was like, oh no. Oh no.
And I'm sorry, slow descent into madness? What color is Candice's hair?
Yeah.
That's a pretty quick descent.
Yeah. Next we get a promo from the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship, Io Shirai. And let's boil this all down to she bows down to no one. Because that's pretty much all that mattered that she said in that promo. Of course, we get the very tacky Drake Maverick interview. I don't even really want to talk about this as much because it's just very, very, very in poor taste. Next, we get Mia Yim versus Jessie Kamaya.
I'm the HBIC.
I get hype every time I hear her theme song. I didn't get hyped to this match, though. This was, again, like another squash match like we saw in AEW. Cool. Mia wins with a knee. But what's important is after the match, Charlotte Flair comes out, and they're all buddy. Charlotte comes out, she's like, yeah, I talked about how I wanted you to be my first opponent, so Mia, you want the match? And Mia's like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I was very honored that you wanted me to be your first match in NXT. And then this is where things get good. Charlotte goes, yeah, Mia, you've always been a good hand, and I never got the chance to thank.
Where have I seen that one before?
I never got the chance to thank you for making me a star. So next week, I'm gonna make you one now too. Mia, of course, the whole time's like, effing what? And then Charlotte walks away, and Mia's just like, okay, I'm gonna show you next week. So I really liked that. I really thought that was cool.
Is literally Cody and Shawn Spears. Literally, down to the wording. Well, Shawn's a good hand, and we're happy to have him around. Literally down to the T. This is that feud. Congratulations. You just made me angry about it. Like, honestly, it's going to be a good match. The two of these are going to put on a good show. But you had to effing go there, didn't you, Triple H?
Like AEW hasn't been taking stuff from NXT every week. My God, this makes you angry?
This is so blatant. You're a good hand.
He hasn't
even referenced the term good hand outside of kayfabe ever.
No, that's not true. Charlotte's actually said that a couple times. She said that about Bayley when they had their feud. She said, Bayley, you're always just be a good hand. You're always going to be that. Like, she even said the term B+ player, kind of referencing the whole Triple H storyline. So this isn't, I didn't even, until you had actually talked about that, I didn't even get that it was copying the AEW segment. I just got, this is just typical Charlotte playing down the women's division like she always does. And, kind of throwing subtle shots like, yeah, you made me a star, and, you look how great my career is, and you've been still doing your thing on NXT, so maybe my greatness will rub off on you, and you'll be a star, too. So that's...
Well, the funny thing is, there is a difference, obviously, between the storylines other than the gender, would be that the heel and face swap. The heel in this storyline is what Cody was in the other storyline. Oh, you're a good hand. You've always been a good hand. Well, so it'll be interesting to see it from a different perspective.
Well, even then, too, though, the way they're going about it, though, is also very different, too. Cody and Shawn have no respect for each other, and Cody's like, look, I'm going to beat you like I'm supposed to. Like, it's going to be... You shouldn't even be in a match with me. Meanwhile, like, Charlotte and Mia have a lot of, at least as far as we know, have a lot of respect for each other. And Charlotte's like, yeah, look, like, she, in her, like, weird way, thinks she's doing Mia Yim a favor. So It's definitely, I get the comparisons. Like, but really the only thing I got that's the same is just, like, she said good hand. But I wouldn't really say it's a one-to-one. They ripped off the AEW storyline. But it's definitely similar. I could see where you get that.
Yeah. Well, and especially because I feel like this is almost an attack on the storyline. Like, because Cody was like, oh, I'm doing Shawn a favor by bringing him in here. He's always been a good hand. I'm excited for, like, his future here. And this is Charlotte going, oh, you've always been a good hand. I can make you a star. Like, kind of like Cody. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but as soon as I heard you're a good hand, I went, no, you didn't go there.
So, again, both shows have been taking stuff from each other consistently. Hell, AEW did it this week. So, if it very well could be them just being like, yeah, well, we can do your storyline, but better. So, we'll see how that plays out. Next, we get a Robert Stone and Chelsea promo. I liked this. Finally doing something with the Robert Stone and Chelsea character. Finally showing me what the hell you benefit by being associated with Robert Stone. You see the place they're at, the luxurious house, the pool. Chelsea looks fantastic. She's doing a photo shoot. They're both sipping martinis by the poolside. And Robert Stone's like, yeah, look, you're a star. Like, everyone wants to be you. Like, look at how amazing your performance was in that ladder match the other week. Like, you're on the path to being the next NXT Women's Champion. Like, she's hyping her up. Chelsea's gassing herself up. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be the next NXT Women's Champion. Again, like, look at us. We look fantastic. The Robert Stone brand's in full effect. Like, I appreciate that. We need more stuff like this. More stuff of you showing me why I should care about Chelsea Green and why anyone should care about the Robert Stone brand. 'Cause up to this point, all I had seen, obviously I did say that Chelsea Green did look good in her ladder match, but besides that, all I had seen was someone who goes out and loses every week, and Robert Stone just kind of looks frustrated. So, more of this, please. That's what I got. What was your takeaways?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Fast forward through this bit. I was in a bit of a crunch for time because I thought that we were going to be recording this on Thursday. So I fast forwarded and just didn't go back to it. From what I caught, yeah, it's an improvement on the character. This the one thing I fast forwarded through this week. I thought I would be in a crunch for time, and then we recorded 2 days after I deleted everything from my DVR. So. Oh, we did it at the same time. We really have been spending too much time together.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the Jack Gallagher versus El Hijo del Fantasma. Yeah, that was a match. Me and you, I think, have differing opinions on this. I like this match. First of all, I like Jack Gallagher. I like his style in the ring. I didn't love El Hijo. I like that. If there's one downside to this match, he wasn't great. They didn't really have good chemistry. But Gallagher, for me, carried this match enough to where I didn't really matter to me. I thought he did enough to make this match passable. It wasn't great. It's probably besides the squash match earlier, it's probably one of the two worst matches on the show. But it's not bad. It's not like horrible. I thought it was I thought Gallagher did enough to make it passable. Iho picks up the win with a Samoan driver. I didn't like the result either. I thought this would have been a perfect time to push Jack Gallagher. I know you just brought Iho in. He's your new shiny toy. But no, I thought Gallagher probably should have got the push here, especially the way you've been building him and his new character. You know, you see the tats. It's too late for you. Like, I thought you could have done a lot with this, but it's whatever. What did you think about that?
This is the thing. They've been really pushing this Phantasma signing, as they should be, because that's a big name. But he didn't look good in his first match.
Yeah.
He didn't look bad, like he wasn't botching moves or anything, but that was not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
I thought Gallagher looked really well. Looked really good. I like Jack Gallagher as well. I've liked him from the very beginning. But honestly, oh man, Iho, that Phantasma has some work to do. And we thought that he would. It's not like he's been, training in some huge company. He's been floating around the indies for the most part, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please don't. But it just was not. It was not good.
Yeah, no. And then after we see that Iho almost gets abducted, but surprise, surprise, he remembers, I'm a pro wrestler, and he fights back. And apparently all you have to do to avoid getting abducted in the NXT parking lot is throw a couple punches, and the guys that are trying to abduct you piss off back into their car and drive away.
Yeah.
I hope this is something important, because this is so stupid. It really is. Please be something important. God, I don't even know what this is building to. I really don't. It's probably something to do with Killer Cross. Maybe. I don't know, but the guys are wearing luchador masks, so I have no idea.
Join Dark Order.
Yeah, like, I mean, honestly, I feel like this is going to be WWE's attempt at the Dark Order. Like, you know what I want to see? I want to see WWE do... I really want this now. I want them to do Dark Order, but I want WWE to literally just give the middle finger, just that to AEW, and just turn it into a joke. Just go full on, like, I can make you important, and then just have them come out and, like, lose every match. Like, I think that would just be the best.
Yes, because Gilbert was so very over.
Yeah, like, just come out and just, like, go full, like, comedy with it. Like, that, I mean, would it be super petty? Yes, but I love that kind of stuff. Like, just, that'd be hilarious to me. That
Now, the only people who have been officially abducted are, like, C-level talent, am I right?
Yeah.
So, this could be a really tasteless shot at AEW. Like, I don't know, somebody's trying to come through and abduct and steal all our talent, but our B-level guys, they're good enough. They fight back. Phantasma, he didn't want to go, but guys like that random Samoan guy who I don't even remember his name because he's been off TV for 6 weeks, like, he's a D-level talent. They're just scooping him up.
Like, I would love, and not only that, but I mean, I just feel like at this point, the way AEW's been taking shots at Vince with the Brody Lee character, that
It's time.
Yeah, it's a time for them to, like, roll up the sleeves, take off the gloves, and be like, "You want to take shots? You want to throw hands? All right, let's go." Like, I would love that. Like you said, just be like, well, you know, for some reason, all of our lower tier, like all of our new guys are kind of not lower tier, but, like, you know, our younger talent for some reason just keep disappearing and popping up in this other group. I mean, I guess we're not missing much, but whatever, right? Like,
The group's gonna be led by the recast Stardust. WWE has the rights to the character. They could just be like, Stardust. Stardust is the leader of this fringe group that's abducting talent.
just like go full on. Like, you know how Cody, like, made fun of the Triple H thing, smashing the throne with a hammer? Make fun of Cody. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, just go full on. Have the guy come out 1 week with, like, a goofy looking tattoo. Like, just go full shots, man. Let's throw it back, man. I want to see full on Wednesday Night Wars. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I mean, I know, like I've said, like, you know, I don't want to see this, you know, develop into companies taking shots at each other. But if it saves this from being a really stupid gimmick, which right now it looks like it's going to, why the F not? And again, AEW's been taking their shots, so it's about time. Like, go ahead.
Let's be
it's
honest,
fine.
though. This is Karrion Kross.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know. They're wearing luchador masks, so, I mean, has Cross ever been associated with luchadors?
Isn't what's the name of the talent that he's with? Isn't she Latina? I don't remember.
Dude, I don't effing know. So I mean,
He signed with someone, so
I mean, we'll see. But we get Keith Lee, Velveteen Dream versus the Undisputed Era, and it's, you know, it's the core. It's Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. So you're getting your two heavy hitters going up against Keith Lee and Velveteen Dream. So this is your main event for the evening, by the way. So really good match. I like this a lot. I like that they're coming out strong. They're like, yeah, this is gonna be your heavy hitters. But they did something weird out the gate. So sad face, 1 tier. Keith Lee doesn't last long in this match at all. So out the gate, Bobby Fish gets ejected. He's at the ringside. He gets thrown out. And Damian Priest shows here. He kind of spoke on it earlier in a promo, but he's not finished with Keith Lee. So he taps Lee on the back. Lee turns around and he jabs him in the throat with the nightstick twice. Like, brutal hits. Keith Lee's, you know, gasping for air. He could have a crushed throat, so he gets taken to the back, and he's ruled medically unfit to compete. So he's out. So Dream wants to continue. So now it's Velveteen Dream versus the Undisputed Era in a 1v2 handicap match.
So we think.
So we think, because for the second week in a row, one Dexter Loomis appears, and this time he gets up on the apron, and he's just Dream's new partner. The referee's like, whatever, allows Dream to tag him in. It's legal now, so
he
even the
looks at Loomis and goes, "Well, if you're in the match, grab the rope."
Yeah. Oh, and even the commentators, I like how they're like, yeah, the refs allowing a lot of leeway in this matchup. Like, they're just like, the refs probably just like, whatever. It's like, at least they addressed it.
WWE finally addressed refs' discretion.
Yeah. Look at what AEW did. They forced their hand. So yeah, Dexter Loomis is Velveteen Dream's new tag team partner, and to his credit, he comes in and he gets to work. First time I've been impressed with Dexter Loomis because he's actually fighting people that matter. He was teeing off on Adam Cole there, and he actually gets the tag on Velveteen Dream, and Dexter Loomis takes out Roderick Strong and Fish, who came back out despite the referee tossing him out. He takes out both of them. They with a kind of a dive over the top or over the ropes to the outside, and then Velveteen Dream hits the Purple Rainmaker for the 1, 2, 3. So Velveteen Dream has now pinned the NXT World Champion. So any questions about Velveteen Dream, why he's in the title picture? He's beaten 3 members of Undisputed Era. One of them's the NXT champion. Actually, he's beaten all. If I'm correct, he's actually beaten every single member of Undisputed Era. So yeah. I mean, there's no other way. Like, it's Velveteen Dream title picture now. So,
or maybe not.
Or maybe not, depending on those pesky accusations we talked about at the beginning of the show. So, yeah, but. I have in big bold letters WTF, because that's just how I felt once this was over. Because I was like, Dexter Loomis, though.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But he looked good. I just, what? So match of the night of the show.
Kushida and Tony Nese.
Kushida and Tony Nese. I have to agree with you there. I think that was the match of the night. I think you're correct. What was your MVP, my guy?
Yes. There were a lot of really, really good competitors who showed out tonight, but I'm going to do one of those kind of outside the box MVPs. I'm going to go with somebody who I don't know how many more options I'm going to have, at least under this moniker, Drake Maverick, for what you've put in and for dealing with WWE's BS with your gimmick, which is, your gimmick is, I've lost my job and I'm fighting for my life. Your gimmick? Yeah, so Drake Maverick's my MVP tonight.
You know what? I'm actually going to have to agree with you there. I think Drake Maverick is going to be my MVP. Regardless of how tasteless I think the storyline is, it's not his fault. Dude's just, fighting for his career. So, yeah, no, I think Drake Maverick is going to be my MVP for the show. Let's go ahead and talk about show versus show. What is your show of the night, my guy?
This is tough. I really actually I want to pick NXT. I do. And then the tag match happens where they're just like, oh, one partner got taken out. Dexter Loomis is your partner now. Yay! Despite the ludicrous rules, I will take NXT this week.
Okay.
God. It's close. I don't know that there's been many weeks where it's been a landslide. It was close again. Both weeks, or both shows were really good. AEW had some great spots. The first match, the last match, the Cassidy match, the Omega match, but the 2 squash matches just really hurt the product.
So, go ahead.
If I must. I would say that AEW had a little bit better promo work this week. It did not have any weird abduction spots. NXT had 2. or 1 attempt, I guess. But yeah, I would say that NXT is definitely my show of the week this week.
So, I mean, this is actually, I feel like, a close week. I did not think last week was close at all. I thought NXT had handedly slapped up AEW last week. This week, I do think it is very close. I was actually very, very on the nose. Not on the nose. Very, like, on the edge, on the fence, whatever you want to call it, about which show I was going to pick. I was actually borderline picking AEW at a point. But couple things. Again, I didn't like the squash matches. NXT had 1, AEW had 2. Obviously, while I did enjoy the main event from AEW, I just could not get past that horrible stipulation. It soured the whole match for me. Again, it's kind of like what happened with the match with Jon Moxley and Jake Hager. I mean, it doesn't take much to ruin something potentially great. I mean, we saw with that match, the stipulation, the empty arena, that by itself just made the match piss poor for me. And then tonight with he's gonna retire, I promise, guys. If he loses, he could lose. Maybe. No, he couldn't. No, he was beating Kip Sabian. No one thought that he wasn't beating Kip Sabian. So that ruined it for me. Obviously, AEW, I thought the promo work, I agree with you, was better than NXT promo work tonight. While NXT did have a couple good promos, that horrible, like, up and down Johnny Gargano Candice promo with sloppy explanations for Candice and awkward production, I didn't like that at all. But, yeah, so, yeah, AEW definitely won in that department. But in terms of matches, I love the fact that NXT showcased the Cruiserweight division throughout the entire show. Even the match that wasn't, the best, I still thought it was all right. And the fact that, again, they're taking the whole episode pretty much to go, here's our Cruiserweight division, we're showcasing it now, everybody shut up. So I do appreciate that's what they're doing now, and that they are giving Cruiserweights a chance. I don't know if it's going to be a Cruiserweight revolution like what happened with the Women's Revolution a couple years back. Fingers crossed, I hope so. Well, only time will tell. But I appreciate with what NXT is doing going forward. Hopefully the Cruiserweights actually get their opportunity. So, yeah, NXT is going to be my show of the night. Very close. Definitely closer than last week. This was actually a toss-up for me. But, yeah, it is going to be NXT as my show of the night. So, unless you have anything else to say?
See you guys on Monday, Tuesday, something like that.
At a time. At this point, we're kind of off schedule. I do promise we'll get them everything kind of on track. Obviously, quarantine stuff, things are a little goofy right now, so we're kind of our schedule's reflecting that. But it is what it is. So
don't promise them anything; they don't deserve it.
So, with that was your Wednesday Night War for this week. Obviously, the Wrevolution Pro Wrestling podcast is only available on the YouTubes due to the current climate, but we will be back on audio format. So if you go ahead and follow us on the Spotify, the iTunes, the Google Play Podcast, or the Podbean, lovely Podbean, then we will be back in your ears with cool, crisp audio for the future. And as always, of course, if you want to stay up to date with all Wrevolution Pro Wrestling stuff, we haven't posted that much this week, but I promise we're going to be back at it this week. We just, we had to take a little bit of a break. Things were a little busier than they should have been this week, so we will be getting back to it.
It may be quarantine, but tell that to my home improvement projects that I've been working on.
Yes. So, of course, social media links down in the description below, the Twitter, the Facebook, Instagram, all that fantastic stuff. So, without further ado, we are the Wrevolution Pro Wrestling Podcast. This has been your Wednesday Night War video, live from Studio 6. My name is Marcus White.
Live from Le Palais de la Champion. I am Fight Mode Nick Cavalli.
And as always, we invite you to join
Join
the revolution. Have a fantastic night.